The pages of science fiction imagine huge spaceships in which our descendants will travel around the galaxy in comfort. Smart houses on Earth will select the ideal temperature, do the cleaning, order food, and prepare dinner. They will even have the ability to repair themselves in case of failure. Unmanned vehicles will calculate the most optimal route and instantly deliver passengers to anywhere in the world. We often see similar pictures of the future in films and books, but for some reason they don't include any details about animals. What will their future be like? Who will the beasts, birds, and pets be in 1,000 years? Will there be a place for them on such an advanced and technological planet? Technological progress has brought us so many new inventions in the world of entertainment. One of the latest is the online game Crossout, available for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. It's a third-person vehicle shooter where every vehicle you see has been crafted by another player. You can build almost anything you can imagine, from buggy to tank to a hovering weapon platform. So right now, click the link in the description and download Crossout for free. Thanks to Crossout, we have a special gift for viewers of Riddle, a choice between a shiny vehicle cabin or 3 extra weapons to start with as a bonus. Call your friends and join the fight together in PvP against other players, or take on the game's story campaign or raids in PvE. And getting into Crossout is so simple, even your neighbor's pit bull can figure it out. Take, for example, a couple of German shepherds who likely eat more than one person in a year. However, genetic engineering will help solve such problems by controlling size. So by blocking the growth genes, scientists have already been able to create horses the size of dogs and dogs the size of a kitten. This makes it so that pets do not consume so much food. If this trend continues, then soon there may be, for example, a pet mini whale that can fit in the palm of your hand. In turn, owners who might be satisfied with smaller pets will expect a full upgrade of abilities and appearance. How would you like a pet that glows like neon? South Korean scientists have answered this question and developed cats that can glow in the dark. Maybe you want to have a personal mini park from the Jurassic period. Then you just need to ask paleontologist Jack Horner, who plans to create a chicken with teeth that looks like a dinosaur. However, there's another option for the development of pets: a switch to robots. In fact, we're already seeing this process happening today. For example, in Japan, they released the Nekoro device, a robot which is covered in soft fur and is quite similar to a cat. Thanks to a special sensor, the robot can purr softly or growl with displeasure. In total, the model can make 48 different sounds recorded using real animals. Dog lovers will be attracted to Robot Rex, who knows how to move his ears, bark, and wag his tail. Robops, a robotic dog, knows 80 commands and even gives out a bark when a stranger enters the room. Anyone interested in more exotic animals will surely like the 3-pound, 3-foot-tall bionic kangaroo. This kangaroo robot can jump to a height of 40 centimeters, about 16 inches, and can jump a length of up to 80 centimeters, or about 32 inches. Thus, familiar furry friends will almost completely be replaced by robots and genetically altered creatures. But what will happen to wild animals? Many of the current species that you can observe in the wild or in zoos will eventually disappear forever. Among them are tigers, of which there are only about 4,000 remaining alive today, followed by the Maui dolphins, whose number does not exceed 55. Also, rhinos, gorillas, orangutans, all that will likely remain of them will be educational videos on YouTube. Man is to blame for this. We're constantly altering environmental conditions and destroying the habitats of wild animals. Some creatures are especially sensitive to human intervention. The problem arises from so-called food specialization. Large mammals, in particular predators, have developed features over many years of evolution that allow them to eat only a specific type of food and live under strictly defined conditions. But there are also other creatures that can survive for millennia under just about any circumstance, including those that prefer to live close to us humans. Rats, cockroaches, spiders, and reptiles. These are creatures that many of us would like to avoid. However, they will likely take the place of today's majestic predators. Only what they will look like in the future will depend on the food available, the landscape of the planet, and the climate. According to one scenario of the distant future, a new ice age awaits us. At such extremely low temperatures, only the largest organisms can survive, requiring the ability to maintain body heat. As a result of natural selection after the Ice Age, the planet will be inhabited by giant rodents, reptiles, arthropods, and mollusks, all of whom man will find difficult or impossible to exterminate. British scientist Dougal Dixon showed how they might look in the book The Wild World of the Future. So, according to Dixon, the desert will shudder from the trampling of a huge tortoise weighing up to 150 tons. It will be heavier than the largest dinosaurs and much bigger than an African elephant. This tortoise will wander through the desert, devouring a huge amount of greenery with a scissored beak and powerful jaws. No one will dare to interfere with the giant tortoise due to its colossal size and armored, scaly skin. But most animals, just as today, will have to fight fierce battles to stay alive, using some gnarly weapons for defense. The giant snails of the future, about 8 inches long or 20 centimeters and weighing up to a pound or about half a kilogram, are also no exception to the race for survival. The mouth of this monster will have a bone core with a notched drill at the end, which will allow it to grind even the toughest food. However, carnivores will acquire much more deadly features than the snail bone drill. For example, a huge black bat death gleaner with a wingspan of 4 feet or 1.3 meters is armed with insanely strong jaws and huge teeth. Grabbing its prey, the death gleaner will thrust long claws into its prey's body while forcing it into the sand. Then, in an instant, it will bite the victim through the spine and have its warm lunch. Rats will be able to hunt small animals that large mammal predators ate before. These rodents will be aided in this by a change to their teeth. They'll develop long, piercing incisors. The wide molars that they now use to shred vegetation will become sharpened and will work like scissors, cutting off pieces of flesh. Their tiny legs will become ideal for running with small feet, thick pads, and long, muscular legs. With the help of these mutations, phalanxes, giant dog-like rats, will hunt large grass-eating animals that would formerly have been preyed upon by wolves in packs. The lurkfish will be an even more dangerous predator at 13 feet long or 4 meters. Hundreds of electric-producing tissues will run down each side of the killer fish. They'll be able to generate a huge charge in excess of 1,000 volts, twice as much as the electric eel. This predator will electrocute any animal to death, except perhaps the enormous tortoise. Once the tortoise closes its huge jaws on the body of its victim, it will sink its sharp teeth into its flesh. After that, it will disappear into the depths of the ocean with the fish beast, so that no one interferes with its bloody feast. The huge 75-foot or 25-meter rainbow squid will not be outdone by other huge super predators like striped whales. While on the hunt, they'll put on a real light show, changing the color of their body. This will be sure to lure a large predator fish that feeds on bright silver, red, or yellow fish. As soon as the prey swims closer, the squid will grip tightly at it with powerful suckers, while it shreds the body with razor-sharp teeth. Another super mollusk, the 10-pound swamp octopus, will choose a no less terrible way to punish its victims. Catching its prey, it will inject enough poison into it to kill even an elephant. The insects of the future will also be different. So bumblebees will grow to the size of sparrows and will manage to survive due to the terrible massacre of their own flesh. Finding the uneaten carcass of a dead animal, the bumblebee will rest on it until it dies, after which the insect's belly will burst by itself. From the bumblebee's body, the larvae will escape and burrow inside of the dead animal. Inside the disc-shaped mouth of the larvae, there will be a creepy mill with 2 pairs of sharp jaws. One is for cutting, the other is for grinding. Thus, the larvae will be able to tear the flesh and suck the decomposing internal organs out of the rotting animal. So, that is a glimpse of the bleak future described by Dougal Dixon. Whether his predictions will come true in real life is not yet known. However, one thing is clear. The planet can sustain the existence of most any creature, but not all creatures will withstand the conditions on planet Earth. So, if humanity wants to preserve itself as a species, we must save the environment. Do you think we could coexist with Dixon's monsters? Write your thoughts in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.